talk
was
about
good
that a
year.
little bit? There's all of a sudden been this like new scandal on social media that like, oh, audiobooks don't count as actually reading. And you know, and I saw an interesting little thing about it where in actuality, when you're reading, most people don't actually read every word
Yeah, that
when
makes
you're
sense.
reading. You know,
Yeah.
you it's just naturally you skim over, you don't read every word. Where you're listening to it on audiobook, you are listening to every
Every
single
single.
word. So
Yeah.
you could make an argument that when you listen to the audiobook, you are actually reading more of the book
Yeah.
than you do when you are traditional reading. I mean, and the whole thing is just complete nonsense that we are trying to gatekeep reading. Like,
Yeah.
what? To me.
Storytelling before we wrote it down was orally.
Right. Yeah.
And I
I
think
mean, do
it's
you
really
agree or do you
ableist.
think like, oh, it's not the same?
Yeah, I think it's really ableist. Like one of the
Yeah.
booktubers I follow, she a couple of years ago, all of a sudden started having these really bad eye problems. And now, like when I check in with her, I'm like, how's your reading going? She's like, it's like strictly audio. She's like,
Yeah.
my vision just is not the same anymore. So when people say stuff like that, it's like you're kind of counting out the fact that there are people that is the way that they have to read.
And then I had people say, well, what about podcasts? Is that reading if you're listening? And I'm like, no, it's not reading because it's not text.
Yeah.
It's not there's like an audiobook is literally text.